welcome to my click-by-click tutorial on how to resize multiple photos at once using the actions in Adobe Photoshop. So first of all, you want to make sure that you have a copy of the original photos that you're planning on using, and you should have already downloaded these from the Google Drive. So mine are in my documents in my digital art folder, and I have a class, lighting and composition, take 3, my copy. So I'm very quickly going to copy that folder, and I'm going to paste that folder just so that I have another option in case I mess this up. So I'm just going to leave it the copy of the copy, and I will only refer to that later if something goes horribly wrong. So after I've done that, I need to go into the lighting and composition folder, and you'll see all of my photos in here, close to 40. And you'll also notice that they are incredibly large right now, hence the need to resize. But before I want to do anything in here, I want to make sure that I separate these pictures, known as the originals, from the ones that I'm going to resize. So once you are in the original folder, make a new folder, title it Originals, maybe in all caps, maybe not, that's up to you. Then clicking the last image in the series and going to the very top, hold down Shift and select all of those, and then go ahead and just move them into the originals. So now inside my lighting and composition folder that was shared with me by my partner, my copy, I now have all those pictures inside the originals. And it's there that we're going to start. Once you are there, you are going to open with Photoshop on that first photo in the series. So you can right click on that first image, open with Photoshop. You may have to go to Other if you don't see it up here, Other, and then Browse, and then into Adobe, and then you'll find Adobe Photoshop in there. But since mine's right here, I'm going to go ahead and click it. Once you have the image opened in Adobe Photoshop, you may have your Actions window already open if this is the second time you've run an action today. Otherwise, you'll need to go to Window, and you'll see the Actions right there. And then a window should open up. It doesn't quite matter where you put it. You're not going to edit the lighting or cropping or anything like that. And so once you have Actions opened, you want to record a new action. And you'll see here that unless you have one selected, you can't actually start recording. So just like you would create a new layer in Photoshop, you click the same icon to create a new action. Go ahead and click that. You want to title this pretty specifically so that you could run it again if you want to and know exactly what you're getting. So please title this one Adobe Flash Lighting and Composition Stop Motion. And then once you click record, it is going to actually start the process of your actions taken in Photoshop until you tell it to stop. So simply click on record. And then the next part would be to resize it. Right now, this is roughly 26 inches by about 19, possibly, maybe 20. That's way too big to turn into a quick animated GIF file. So under Image, Image Size, we are going to resize this to pixels. So if, for example, yours is set to inches, which it may be, you'll want to go ahead and set that to pixels. Make sure that these are locked together. If they were not, then you could change this number and it wouldn't change this number, which would actually warp your image. So make sure that those are constrained and you want to change your width to 500 pixels if it's horizontal. If it's vertical, then you'd want to actually change the height. But my image is indeed a horizontal image, so I just need to change my width to 500. Click OK. And you will see there that it got pretty small. My ruler is up here at the top. Again, if you want to turn your ruler on, you can go to View, turn on Rulers. Okay, this is where you want to make sure you follow this pretty closely. Once you have resized it, you want to go to the File tab, go to Save As, and inside the the folder Lighting and Composition folder that you got the original folder out of when you made the copies and everything else before you made this originals folder, you actually want to make a new folder in there so that you'll have two. You'll have the original and then you'll have the resized. You do not want the resized image to end up in with all these other images inside the original, so please make sure that you have selected Lighting and Composition folder. Create a new folder, call this Resized Lighting and Composition Photos. Okay, go ahead and click Create. And you want to leave this a JPEG, go ahead and leave the file name the same and click Save. Click OK. Once you have saved just the one image, you want to stop your recording with the little stop button down here. And this is actually where you get to let the computer do the rest of the work for you. So at this point, you are ready to resize all of the photos in the original folder and send them to the resized folder that you just created in that one save. So to do this, you go to the File tab, go to Automate, and then you want to run a batch. Now, depending on what version you're on, you are looking for these words, File, Automate, and then I believe it says Run Batch in earlier versions, but for those of us on the cloud, you can just simply click Batch. Okay, then you will have a window that's absolutely important to make sure that you set things up before you just click OK. If you just click OK, there's no telling what will happen. So the first thing that you want to make sure is that your action is set to the action that you created, which we just created as Adobe Flash Lighting and Composition, stop motion. All right, so we have that. We would definitely like to choose where those photos are coming from. And so for this, you can see that I don't want them to come from the trash. They are in my Documents folder, and then they are in my Digital Art folder. And then the copy of the copy, those are just there again to reuse if something horribly goes wrong. So I don't want to go in there. I want to go into the one I downloaded from my Google Drive or uploaded from the camera. Go in there, and I'm going to choose them from the originals. So I'm going to click that. That's where they are going to come from. You want to make sure that you click Suppress File and Suppress Color. You don't want to have to click OK for each one of those. You would like it to stop for errors, so you might just want to watch the screen for a little while to make sure that it can do what you're asking it to. And then the other important part would be to actually send where, or choose where you're going to send it, the destination folder. This is where we're going to send them to our resized folder. Again, we don't want to be in the trash. It's important to know where we're sending things. So I want to go to my Documents, in my Digital Art class, inside my Lighting and Composition. There is that resized Lighting and Compositions folder I just created. I'm going to go ahead and click Choose. And then here for this, because we're going to actually turn these into a flipbook in Adobe Flash, it's important that we change this from document name to a 4-digit serial number. Under 40, 1 digit would probably be okay. However, if you have more than two digits, more than 3 digits, or possibly even 4 digits, you are going to want to choose this one. So just to be safe, I will choose 4-digit. And the extension just means that it'll go ahead and add the specific rule in the file name, which in this case would be the JPEG. And to make sure, we want it to start at number 1. You could add 000 there if you wanted to, but that's not necessary. Once you click OK, Photoshop is about to do the work for you, and you have resized multiple photos at once using the Action tool. And here we go. You'll see it opens them. It's going to go through all the folders. It kind of does like a mini stop motion now, a little bit slower than it will do in the actual editing software. But we'll just see here that it is working. You can see my mouse actually changing over there in the upper left-hand screen. And that shows us that it is working. It's probably best not to do anything else while it's doing that. And there it is done. That's the original photo I started with. So to double check, I'm going to actually exit completely out of Photoshop and close out of all my folders completely. Go back to my Finder, go to my documents this way, go into my digital art folder, go into the lighting and composition folder we've been working out of this entire demo, and go into Resized and double checked. The first thing you want to see is that it did rename it correctly. Yes, it did. It put through and actually went through and renumbered them, which will be much helpful later. And then you can see that the size difference without even opening them has decreased dramatically from the originals that would take much longer to do anything with. So there you have it. Now you have a folder completely full of resized images. I hope that was helpful. Good luck, and you're ready for the next part.